Hey guys, Ross here at Frothy, talking about the Kona Dew in the stand today. This is my point as a mechanic. I say that in all my videos. I'm not a sales pitcher. I'm really not good at upselling bikes to customers. I just say it like it is. This is a good all-rounder bike. The wide tyres on it, so 47C tyres on it. You could take this up a smooth gravel path. The width of this tyre is what we used to have back in the late 90s, early 2000s on mountain bikes in terms of width. It's got a large volume of air in there, so it is a bit of a comfort. So even though it's got no suspension on the bike, that is giving you a little bit of cushion and comfort there. It's Shimano 8-speed on the rear and 2 chainrings up front. It is a good working chain set. It's not the cheap kind of Shimano Tourney type of thing. So when you go below £500 or £400 British sterling, you kind of go into plastic gearing, and then you start to get problems a year down the line. Things start to fail, but this is still a good long-term working bike. Lifespan of this bike, I would happily see these in the workshop in 10 to 15 years time. This bike should still be working in good working order. All the parts that are on it are made to last. There's nothing cheaped out completely. Let's just jump straight in. So the frame set, as I say, and the wheels are the same as the other two models, but the things that differ are the double chainring up front here. So this is a 36-22 chainring on the front, so 36 tooth on the big and then 22 on the small. So you've got a really small chainring there for climbing up the hill, so you've got 22 in the front. And if you went up to, there's a 34 on the rear here, so it's 11-34 on the back. This is a proper cassette style, so it's not a free hub body, mechanical speak there. This is a better running gear set. The wheels are built better than some of the cheaper models. 8-speed on the rear, of course. Although 8-speed means you don't have, obviously it's not 12-speed, it's not a higher end bike, it does mean that the gears stay indexed a lot longer. There's a much bigger gap between the cogs, which means if your rear mech ever gets a knock, it takes a much bigger knock and a much more bent item through the back here, bent hanger or bent rear mech, to offset the gears. They last a lot longer, they don't come out of tune that easily. They're all good points, they're all long-lasting bike kind of standard points there. The brakes on it, so these are the standard Tektro single-sided action calipers. So when I say single-sided, I mean this arm here moves and it's only one pad that moves in towards the disc. The other one stays static behind it, and when the first pad moves in, it pushes the disc towards it. They've been in use for a long time. The Tektro models of these are quite a good model. They don't fail all that often. The pads that are in it are standard Shimano Dior style pads, really easy to pick up, nice and cheap as well. But with a bike of this style and the kind of trail that you'll be riding or public footpaths or that, you're not going to be chomping through the brake pads anytime soon. They are still nice, quite a decent aggressive disc to them as well though, so you're still going to get a bit of bite with the pads. They're not some of the cheap resin discs that you get from Shimano don't bite like these. These are Tektro discs, a little bit more bite to them. The saddle that it comes with is a standard. This is from WTB, the brand. It has got a cutout underneath it. The camera can catch that, so it's cut out, so it gives you that bit more comfort. We've been pleasantly surprised with the saddles coming from Kona. The fact that they've went from WTB, which is the brand, as a manufacturer of saddles. Kona just have their name printed on them. So it's got a nice bit of flex there, gives you a bit of comfort. That's what this bike's all about, just all day, every day, comfortable use. So it does have all the attachments as well, so you could fit a child's seat to the back. It's got a nice big open pillar here, quite big to get a clamp, good bit of space in between the tyre and the seat post. Quite a lot of them will be restricted here, so you can't quite get a clamp in place. This one will be fine. You could also fit a rear carrier with a child seat on it as well. We've had a lot of customers asking us about this Dew range, especially for children, for young families. This is ideal for it. The rear rack mounting points are proper mounting points, so that's a nice, chunky, flat-faced mount there. There's a secondary mount on the back here for your mudguards as well, so you could fit full mudguards to it. But we're really happy that they've put this mounting point here for the rear rack. It sounds daft, but it's a nice big flat face there. You can put a decent bit of pressure onto a bolt into there and it'll be a nice secure position. Long terms, it's got a square taper bottom brackets. This is the bearing type that goes through the frame. These have been in use, the square taper ones have been in use since the, I think, 70s or 80s. They're really cheap to replace. They don't tend to go wrong all that often. You'll get thousands and thousands of miles out of it as it sits just now. They're nice, like £12 to replace an axle. It's not the end of the world with them. They last a long time. They're far better than some of the more complex bikes that we deal with, and these bearings here can reach as high as £90. The front wheel and the back wheel, say they're standard cup and cone bearings. They're not super complex. If you're doing hundreds of miles of this bike every week, you will wear the hubs and wheels out. Lifespan of these wheels, I would say maybe 5,000 miles at most. That's with a couple of services in there. The cup and cone bearings that are designed, they're not designed to last a lifetime, but they will have a decent lifespan with them. Hope that's a good rundown, folks. If I've missed anything, the levers, not talked about the levers yet. These are the trigger kind of pods, and it's one piece with the brake lever as well. You can access the cables quite easily with these two screws. It's got a good bit of leverage for braking, and it's got, say, double triggers on it, which just makes the gears a little bit more precise, makes you more confidence there. It does have the dial indicators on them as well, so 1 and 2 on the left, and then up to 8 on the right. If I can get the camera in the right angle, you can see the wee red indicator there. The wee red indicator can sometimes jump out of place. It is just these two screws, pop them off, and the wee red indicators maybe just jumped off and you slot it back into place. Hope I've not pointed out too many mechanical sides to this bike. It is still a good all-rounder family bike. It is one that's going to last. It's a good starting point if you're just getting into cycling. If you've not done much cycling since you were younger and you're starting back into it, this is a good starting point. Any questions, ask away. Give us a call at the shop or message us on social media or leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.